Physical problems I encountered along the way would definitely be, I got into many car accidents, wasn't paying attention, didn't care about anybody else on the road, didn't even care about myself at the time. That's scary to look back on, knowing that I could have hurt somebody. I would always look at people that were, doing heroin and stuff while I was doing Percocets. I was like, that'll never be me. That'll never be me. Like, I drew that line, I'll never cross it, and somehow I just tiptoed over every single line I said I would never do. In active addiction, I lost all those dreams. They didn't even come to my mind. I just accepted that this was gonna be my life and that I wasn't gonna have anything good in my life. I had lost all hope. And, one by one, those dreams were shattered. I don't even think I could be a nurse or anything because of my record. I can't travel because of my passport. One by one, all those things that I dreamed of doing in my lifetime were taken away. And I'm trying my best to, rebuild it now and get them back. But you don't realize what you're losing along the way. The longer you stay in active addiction, the more damage you're doing, thinking, oh, I'll just put that off. It's not that big of a deal. I think that the guilt, every time I went home really set in and I just had to go use more. This was just the feelings that kept piling on, and I had to use more to get rid of the more feelings of guilt that I put on top. When I really started to notice that I had an issue and that I couldn't control it anymore was when I started stealing from my own family. My dad had inherited coin collection from my grandfather and great-grandfather when he was 9 years old, and he's been adding to that, and I sold the entire thing. And that's when I started realizing, I can't stop. So, each day I just go take something small and go sell it. Oh, he won't notice. It's not that big of a deal. By the end of 2 weeks, the whole entire thing was gone. I just kept justifying it. Justification is a really big part of my story, telling myself it's all going to work out. It's going to be okay. I needed to address some things that I didn't address, and it ended up with me stealing from my family. People with the same last name as me that had given me anything and everything that I could have asked for in life. And this disease doesn't discriminate no matter what kind of background you come from. Never in a million years could I even picture stealing from my family. And then here I am doing an army crawl in my grandmother's bedroom, stealing out of her purse in the middle of the night. Those things you don't think long term, especially when you're using, they just don't really matter. When I got, summons to court and stuff, I would just throw out the letter and pretend they're never gonna know. It's not that big of a deal. I would just make the very big fires in my life into little teeny tiny flames. They didn't really matter. But I specifically remember when I had to start maintaining, my dad was diagnosed with cancer, and it was prostate cancer, so he'd be up 3 times in the middle of the night going to the bathroom, and he works a very stressful job, and he needs to sleep at night. And I just remember coming in at 4 a.m, completely high out of my mind, and just going to bed and then getting up and waking him up. And it's I didn't even think about him. Physically, I didn't go to the doctors for 6 years. I didn't take care of myself. You don't take care of yourself. You don't shower. Like I said, it's a very miserable way to live. Progress over into the fall, and that's when I became sick every morning if I didn't have anything in me. Like I said, over the next 6 years, I had to keep using to not just not feel, but to maintain, which is pretty much not feeling sick.